Hi, my name is Scott Gilliland, and welcome to week 2 of our Greater Than curriculum. According to a 2016 New York Times article, there's an epidemic growing in our country of social isolation. Loneliness is experienced by more adults today than ever before. Since the 1980s, it's more than doubled from 20% to 40% of adults identifying as lonely. And this can affect our health. People experiencing social isolation experience different sleep patterns, altered immune systems, greater inflammation, and higher stress levels. In fact, people experiencing social isolation are at greater risk of heart disease by 29% and a greater risk of stroke by 32%. There's a spiritual cost to loneliness as well. In the book of Genesis, we see God creating humanity for the very first time, and he looks at Adam and says, "It is not good for people to be alone." When we find ourselves in isolation, we are simply not living the life that God designed for us to live. And the hard part is that when we feel alone, the idea of generating and creating relationships can sound exhausting or even impossible. And it's true. Trying to cultivate new relationships, whether they be at home or at work or in your neighborhood community, it is a tiring and time-consuming process. Here's the good news. God tells us that when we work for His purposes, we never work in vain. And so yes, cultivating community and relationships can be hard, but God tells us that God's Spirit abounds when we reach out and try to develop relationships in the world around us. And so we'll have to give some things up. We don't always get to be right. We have to listen to others' ways of thinking, and we don't always get what we want when we want it. But when we find ourselves in a relationship, we open ourselves up to a whole host of joys that we would never otherwise experience on our own. A life in community is greater than a life alone.